It's on a Raptor!
Resident Evil 1, the classic that started it all. To be honest, the real classic from 1997 looked slightly different, but my attempt to play it did not go too well.
My eyes! The pain!
So I opted for the remaster, and I gotta say, as Resident Evil 0 before, it looks pretty nice for a game released in 2002. And yeah, of course, the sucky controls, an enemy AI, or rooms that are separated by fancy door loading screens are still the same. My overall experience, however, could not have been more different. But why? Did RE0's mediocrity simply numb my senses and prepare me for what's to come? Possibly. All I can say is that with playing 1, most of the game elements that bugged me in 0 just kind of fell into place. Annoying fixed camera perspectives that would not let me see enemies standing 2 frames away from me turned into beautiful yet haunting still lifes that made me anxious to take the next corner. The unreliable and shitty shooting mechanic is still there, but is offset by the simple decision to make enemy encounters way more scarce, especially in the latter half of the game.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
And I fear the biggest factor is that in Resident Evil 1, you choose and stick with one playable character. I'm not a chauvinist, so naturally I picked Jill Valentine, which might not have been the best idea ever. More on that later. Let's just face it, playing 2 characters at once is very tiresome if the character you're not controlling at the moment, but, and I cannot stress that enough, can still die and give you a game over, behaves like this most of the time. Yeah, innovation is great, but maybe sometimes we just have to accept the simple truths in life, and in this case it would be that,
oh man, when you're alone, night is scary.
let me tell you, Resident Evil 1 knows that all too well, which is why our highly trained stars platoon just cannot stick together. No matter how nonsensical it might be to split up, they just be like,
you two go, I'll secure this area.
See if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. We can search for him separately. I'll investigate the dining room again.
Okay then, I'll try the door on the other side.
Jill, go check it out.
Wait, I'll be back to get you out.
Okay.
Leave this place up to me and go on ahead.
Okay, if there's anything, I'll go back to the other mansion.
I think I'll go outside, get some fresh air for a change. We're almost there! Jill, you just get in contact with Brad.
Jill, ladies first.
Friss!
Would you let me have my moments too?
All right.
We'll split up. I'll take the girls this way.
Once that is out of the way though, I had a blast exploring the mansion. I really savored the feeling of progression while slowly exploring every corner of every subsequent corridor, figuring out the best routes between the safe rooms and puzzling together which key item I had to find to open the next door. And even though on paper that is the exact same process as in 0, this time it just kinda worked, you know? The puzzles are more inspired. Universally accessible item boxes in the safe rooms are literally a game changer, because backtracking through the entire game for a tool I had last used during the prologue is
The opposite of Batman.
1 belt, 3 gadgets, ready for any mission.
And the bosses, what can I say, one more memorable than the other. The huge snake that poisoned my boy Richard, the shark that almost drowned me, the phantom of the cabin slap. Oh, and the plant. That frickin' plant. No spot in hell burns hot enough for that thing. And I might sound like a broken record, but none of the fights in either of these games were particularly fun or challenging. Still, Resident Evil 1 managed to give each encounter some kind of build-up, meaning, and a certain level of catharsis. All that to say that I had a vastly different experience with Resident Evil 1, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was taken for a spin though, and watching the credits, and all of a sudden I saw a familiar face.
Rebecca!
Turns out if I had chosen Daniel Radcliffe here at the start, not only would there have been some minor gameplay changes, but also many NPC encounters and story beats would have been different, and all of these hours I sank into Resident Evil 0 actually would have had some payoff. And wait a minute, add on top the fact that I now knew all the key item placements and would be able to figure out the perfect path through the mansion. I felt something that I actually never feel. I actually felt the itch to give the game another whirl, to see how fast I would be able to finish a second run. I guess that's how speedrunners are born.
I feel something. A slight tingle in my fingers. I think it's affecting me.
But this channel is more about me sharing my gaming experience while clowning around, and not about making 4-hour critiques about how Daniel Craig gets it on with Nurse Joy over here, and how that is just one more example how this game
feels like the male fantasy.
So rather than that, here you got Resident Evil 1's story in a nutshell. Scooby and the gang go to a haunted mansion where they immediately split up to either get killed or decimate half of America's wildlife, and turns out the real traitor was the friends we made along the way.
Meddling kids.
Sorry that I spoiled the story for you, but if you still want to play, just choose the other character and then you can probably catch a different regional variant or something. Like, comment and subscribe and then I can trade you my shiny tyrant. See you next time with Resident Evil 2. Gotta shoot 'em all.